Okay, so I think we have left here in the previous class. So in this slide, I was talking about this BGP. In a BGP protocol is a policy-based protocol. So that's why this protocol is different from the intra-domain routing protocols that we have discussed. The OSPF, RIP, these are the two protocols which are based on link state routing algorithm and distance vector routing algorithm. So first of all, this BGP is a distance vector, but with path. So basically, it is a path vector is also sent along with uh, the prefix re, for the prefix along with the prefix, right? So the path vector is one of the BGP attribute. There are other attributes as well. We will discuss one by one. So here in this slide, I was explaining the so policy-based routing is basically it depends upon the what relationship is there between the autonomous systems. So here in this picture, you can see the relationship is there in terms of customer provider and the peer-to-peer. So customer provider means there is a uh, uh, so financials are associated with that, means the customer need to pay to the provider, right? And the peer-to-peer relationship is something like that. It is a mutual understanding, right? Mutual understanding means it is something like that. Say, for example, this ISP B and ISP C have a peer-to-peer relationship. So in the peer-to-peer connectivity, or have the two ISPs have, that means no one will pay anything for any traffic which is carried forward by either of the ISPs. Say ISP B suppose send some traffic for some destination to C, then ISP B will not pay anything to C. And also, if ISP C is sending some traffic for some of the destinations for the some of the destination to B, then C will also not uh, pay anything to B. So this relationship is basically that, okay, you help me, I help you kind of thing. So the one thing that is important about the peer-to-peer relationship is that no one should overwhelm the link. If suppose I am taking more advantage of this peering relationship compared to my other partner, then that relationship can be in danger in terms of that means that peer your neighbor may uh, uh, you can say drop that peering connection, right? So uh, so that's why this, so why I'm telling, because this policy, when whether the route will be imported or not will be exported or not exported, that depends upon this primarily based on this economic based policy. Means if I have some gain, then I will export or import, otherwise I will not export or import. Okay, so we'll see with the help of example that how it works, but yeah, before that we need to understand this thing. This is something the policy meaning of the policy based routing. So that's why the performance is the secondary criteria in case of inter-domain routing, but performance is the primary criteria for intra-domain routing, that we are already there. Purely performance is there in terms of I want all the time a best route to forward the traffic to the destination in case of intra-domain, because it is under the same organization, or it's a one organization head under that. So everyone wants to optimize their resources and wants to give best service to their customers. But here means so that's why we say that on the internet end-to-end basis, if you look at, then the routes are not necessarily efficient or performance wise better on an end-to-end basis. It depends upon how the ISPs have the relationship, and then ultimately what route it takes based on the policy from one endpoint to another endpoint. But within ISP, certainly it is a performance is the criteria. Okay, few more things we before proceeding to the next slide, that is some fundamental rules about the BGP. BGP advertises to neighbors only those routes that it uses. right? Means as I think explained that if ISPC has imported some route, that route, these route only it can export to either A or B, depends upon the policy. But if some routes the ISPC has not imported, these routes it cannot export, because if these route it export, then it will be a inconsistency, because then these ISPA suppose will send the traffic for these destination, then ISPC is not using that route. So how the ISPC will forward that packet to the ultimate destination? So that's why consistent with the hop by hop internet paradigm. So the routes in BGPs must be consistent, and that consistency can be maintained only if this condition is met. And then no need for the periodic refresh. Periodic refresh is not required here. If suppose I have a this ISPC has exported some route for some certain destinations, IP prefixes to ISPA, these routes are valid until I am not withdrawing that routes, right? So I need not to send any periodic refresh, which is usually there in the case of intra-domain routing. Periodic refresh is there after every 30 seconds, or depends upon protocol to protocol, but usually it is every 30 seconds they send the next. It means it's you refresh the all the distance vector periodically. So basically here the routes are valid until it's withdrawn or the connection is lost. Then incremental updates are also possible. Usually what happen, there are a lot of prefixes, means the number of prefixes, because IP prefixes you see in a CIDR notation, actually the number of prefixes are so many, means huge. So even in a single ISP, you may have maybe thousands of prefix entries are there in the BGP table, right? So if every time you need to send the entire table, that's maybe very cumbersome and takes more time as compared to if you simply send the, suppose a last advertisement I have sent to my neighbor, after that only 3 new or 3 updated routes are there, or 3 updated prefixes are there. So it will send just updated this thing only the incremental updates it will send, not it will not send the entire dump of the BGP table, right? So that's the another main thing about that. So now we'll come to this policy decisions. So BGP provides capability, means as a protocol have the capability for enforcing the various policies. So BGP enforces policy by choosing paths from multiple alternatives and controlling the advertisement to other autonomous systems. So now how these policies work? So there are two types of policy, two types. One is the import policy. Import policy means what to do with the routes learned from neighbors, right? Whether that I learn a route from neighbor, that whether this route should be imported by in BGP table or not, this is decided based on the import policy. Then export policy means what routes to be announced to neighbors. If I have imported some route and now it's my call that whether it should be announced to my other neighbors, or just only to one neighbor, or it has to be announced partially, or so that again depends upon the export policy. And this primarily depends upon the relationship with the neighbors. Relationship is what relationship? Peer-to-peer customer provider. One more relationship is there, I just want to tell you, but yeah, that is something called as a sibling relationship. So sibling relationship is used, suppose a large autonomous system is there, right? Usually the tier 1 autonomous system are very large. What they do for means better traffic management, they internally these autonomous systems are divided into 2 or more smaller autonomous systems for better you can say management point of view. So now this AS1, let us say, and AS2 are the parts of this, but these are private basically. They are not visible to the outside. Suppose this autonomous system AS5 is there, and this is suppose AS0 is there. So AS5 is not aware that okay internally AS0 have the 2 autonomous system. The entire setup is it is divided. This is private, and that's why the AS number, ASN autonomous system number is also assigned here as a private number is assigned. This is also private. Like the private IP addresses are there, the same concept is used. Here also any private number which is should be unique inside that organization only, or that autonomous system only. So in this case, if some autonomous system is doing, then we'll say AS1 and AS2 are siblings. So this is one more relationship is there. And they, as far the BGP protocol is concerned, from BGP point of view, AS1 and AS2 are the two different autonomous systems are there. So even AS1 can announce the routes to AS2 and so on, all updates, all the BGP protocol related semantics are applicable to this as well. But it is private to that autonomous system. So this is one more relationship is there. Okay, so now we'll see that how the paths are distributed, path information. So you can see here 3 autonomous systems are there, AS1, AS2, AS3. And AS3 and AS1 are connected using 2 BGP routers. They have communication is there. TCP connection is established between these two, and then they can exchange the routes. Similarly, 1B and 2A are the BGP routers for AS1 and AS2 respectively, which are connected. Now, in very simple way, what means, suppose AS3 and they are connected, AS3, AS1, AS2, they are connected to the other networks, like you can say AS1 also may be connected to some other network here. Now, let us say AS3 is sending BGP advertisement. So how the BGP advertisement looks like? So it is, it comes like a prefix, network prefix comes. So this is a network prefix. Along with that, AS path, that is compulsory. Along with that, some other things also can come. We'll see that. But right now, we'll just look at that. Okay, fine. What is a minimal thing which is required for a BGP advertisement message, which is in autonomous system can send to its neighbor. So this is a prefix, you understand this thing, and this is a AS. So AS3, it says that, okay, this prefix is originated, or it is, this prefix is directly connected to AS3 because this is the origin of that, means from where it is starting. Then AS1, suppose AS1, this router receives, and as per the import policy of AS1, it says, okay, fine, I can import this route from this my neighbor. And then after importing into its tables, then it consider to forward to its other neighbors. So now it is, let us say it is sending to AS2, and it is as per the as per the export policy, it is okay with the AS1 to export this route to AS2. So then AS1 will send to AS2 the advertisement over this BGP routers. So this is a prefix, and it will add its own prefix, AS value. And you know that this is used for detecting the loop basically. So this AS2 will see that, okay, it is coming from so AS3, and then, okay, the order you can, maybe it can be like AS1, AS3 and AS1. So that is a convention basically it is used. So here, this is, you can say rightmost is the origin starting point, and then in subsequent autonomous systems which are there in the path, they add their own autonomous system and forward and export that advertisement to BGP advertisement to other nodes. So first thing that AS2 will check is that, okay, I should not be there in that. If I am there, then it has to be rejected immediately because it can create a loop. If I'm not there, then the policy comes into the picture, import policy, whether I can take the route from that, and that will depend upon what relationship is there between the AS1 and AS2. Okay, so this is a simple. Now we'll understand that export policy, how it works. So, okay, I take the example. So suppose here, this is an autonomous system, AS1 is there, okay? And AS1 have one neighbor, that is AS2, and so this is AS2, and the relationship between AS1 and AS2 is like this, because so this arrow which I am showing here, usually this notation is used. So this is a customer and this is a provider. So AS1 is a provider and AS2 is a customer, or you can say AS2 is a customer of AS1, right? And then let us say one more autonomous system is there, AS4 is there, and AS4 between AS4 and AS1 have the relationship is, so this is provider and this is a customer, right? And one more, let us say that AS3 is a neighbor of AS1, and between AS3 and AS1 there is a peer-to-peer relationship is there. So peer-to-peer, we are not using any arrow. So I'm writing peer-to-peer. This is a peer-to-peer relationship. Okay, so now let us say there are some network which are means connected to these autonomous systems. So let us say this is X1, this is X2, right? And this is X4, and this is one more is left, AS1, that we can say it is X3. Okay, so yeah, so this is basically network to which it is connected. So it's like something like that 22.10.5.0/24. Okay, this can be something else like that. There are some network prefixes are there. So now based on this relationship, right, this AS1 can let me change the pen. Yeah, so AS1 can forward any or export any route which it received from its suppose it is receiving this thing from its provider. So what is path it is receiving, that is something like that. So okay, so this is to custom. So what route it can announce to its customers. So AS2 is a customer, so a customer it can announce all the routes which it learned from peer providers and customers. Other, it may have AS1 may have some other customers also. There may be one AS5 is there, that is another customer, or self origin routes. Self origin route means that is like this is X3. If X3 it is exporting, then it is a self origin route is there. So this is it is coming from AS4 and the prefix is X1. So this it can announce. It can announce any route which is learned from its peer also. So that will be route about X2, right? And self-originated route also it can export. So self-originated route means basically X3, and obviously that AS path also will be there. I'm not writing here AS path, I'm just writing the prefix only. So means it. So now why this policy is there, how it is related to the financials. So basically customers it should give all the routes. So that's why these customers, his AS1's customer can get benefit, means AS1 want to give the best possible routes to its customer, because when the customers will use these routes to forward the traffic for either X1 or X3 or X2 to reach, then AS1 will get the revenue from that. So that's why any autonomous system announce all the routes which it learns from its peers or providers or other customers or self-origin route, everything it should give to the customers. And the motivation or the objective behind this is that it will get a revenue, because it want to give the best possible service to its customers. So all possible routes will be exported. Now come to the if so what route it can announce to its providers and peers. So suppose so providers and peers it can announce the route which are learned from its customers and the self origin routes. So AS4 is a provider, so to AS4 it can announce the route only self originated route it can announce, X3 it can announce. So self-originated route, what will be the implication of that? If X3 it will announce to this, then X4 may send some traffic which is destined for X3 to AS1. So in that case, AS1 don't have to means AS1 will don't have to charge anything, means AS1 will not don't have any financial implication. Now I'll tell you that in which case the financial implication is there. If and so first we'll check these two things. So if suppose AS1 is announcing the route which it learned from its customer, so customer is AS2, so AS2 obviously will send the route to AS1 that okay, I can take you to X4. If so, this X4 it will give, and this X4 route it can announce to its provider also, provider as well as peer. So it can give to the peer as well as it can provider. So now what will happen after this? If this route is imported by AS4, then AS4 will start sending traffic which is destined for X4 to AS1, right? And that traffic AS1 has to forward to its customer. So AS1 don't have to pay anything actually. It is obliging basically its provider only or peer. A peer, if it is sending to peer, then peer will start sending the traffic in this direction. So in this case, AS1 don't have to pay anything because AS2 is its customer only. So to its customer, it don't have to pay anything. So that's why it is okay. But if AS1 forward and export any route which it learns from its uh, another provider, say for example, I think let me clean this, so we'll get a, okay, sorry. So I think better I will draw separate. No, quickly I will make it. So this is AS1 and AS1 have this is provider AS4. So this is provider customer. Let us say one more provider is there, AS1, that is AS7. So this is provider and this is customer, and this provider is connected to some network, let us say X5, right? So this is, so this it is, and this is a self origin route. So self origin route it can give to the customers, so it is giving to the its customer. So this route it is giving X5 route, it is exporting to its customer, right? Self origin route can be given to the customer. So it is giving. Now AS1 should forward this X5. So when it is sending X5, then it is sending AS path as well, AS7. So now AS1 should export this to its another provider or not. Because if it will send this, so let us see that, okay, let us say it is exporting. If it is exporting this route, so how it will export? X5 is the prefix and AS7, and then if it is exporting, then it's coming from AS1. So now if this is imported by, this route is imported by AS4, then what it will do, AS4 will start sending traffic for destination X5 to AS1, and subsequently AS1 has to forward to this to AS7. Now, whatever amount of its traffic which is coming from its provider, for that traffic, AS1 need to pay to its this provider. So this is economically not feasible or viable actually from AS1 point of view. So it should not overwhelm this link, because this, for this link, any traffic which is going, that it needs to pay actually. So it should not use this link for its another provider. It can use this link for its another customer. For any other customer's traffic, it can forward at least because it is getting revenue from this side, right? Or so it should not means. So similarly, if AS1 have some peer, so this is suppose AS3 is a peer. So this is a peer-to-peer, peer-peer link is there. So peer, so AS1 also should not forward the or export the route which it learned from its provider. So means it should not send this X5, should not send this X5 to AS3 also, which is coming from AS7, then AS1 is there. That also it should not forward. Why it should not forward? Because it will forward, then what happen? This peer will start sending, because peer don't have to pay. Peer will see, okay, fine, this is my free link is there. So I will forward any traffic for X5 through AS1, and then AS1 has to subsequently forward to this link, and here AS1 has to pay. So AS1 can receive the traffic of its customer, and that it can forward to its provider. That's not a problem, because in that process AS1 will get the revenue from its customer, and if this is a better route, then it is going to get more revenue basically from its customer, because the customer base also will increase. So this is the policy based routing. So these rules are used actually. So we'll say that to customers, announce all the routes learned from peers, provider, customers, and self origin routes, And to provider and peers, it announces the routes which is learned from customer and self origin, not from peers and other providers. So reason is that because these use the economic based policy. Okay. So now there are other attributes. Although you will see that okay, there are so many attributes are used, means, but they are not um, um, in a common practice. Only few attributes, BGP attributes, are used. But as per the protocol, there are means so many other attributes are also defined. You can find when you Google it, you will find maybe 10 to 15 attributes which are, but very the frequently used attributes are these only. So we'll see local preference, AS path. We have already seen that AS path, the path which is coming along with when it is exporting the route. Then before exporting, every autonomous system is adding its own AS number, and this way that AS path is built. Then MED, multi-exit discriminator, and next hop. So we'll see that one by one. So this local preference is used to choose the outbound external BGP path, right? So here let us say for this autonomous system, it has two routes to reach to this autonomous system, Yale, right? From AT&T to Yale, there are two choices are there with AT&T. One is it can reach via this. Another is it can reach via this. So now it depends upon internally at AT&T that okay, which path is more feasible according to me. If we say that in a global perspective, then this path is better because it's just a one autonomous system is there in between. But here two autonomous systems are there. But here also you need to understand one more thing. Autonomous system wise, number of hops we'll see here, it is a two hop path, right? And this is a one hop path. But don't confuse with that. And very interesting thing, you should know that inside, if you say the router wise hop, how many actually links? This is not a one link actually. This autonomous system is not one link. There may be multiple links are there. So you can see that, and here there are, because this autonomous system, multiple routers are there inside that. We don't know internally how this how many internally through the internal links this traffic is forwarded by this Sprint autonomous system. So it may be that or maybe 20 hops inside that it is there, although it is looking a smaller one AS pathwise, and this is looks AS pathwise larger, but here maybe three hops are there, and then in a ultimately 7-8 hops it is reaching to this autonomous system. But here maybe in this one autonomous system itself, maybe internally it is a 20 hops are there or more hops are there. So that's another, you can say, limitation of the BGP, that okay, it's if AS path lengthwise we look at, we have just done that's the entire autonomous system we consider as a one hop only. Okay, now come to this local preference. So as I said that okay, local preference is something that a autonomous system decide what will be the exit. So how the from which point the traffic will be exit. So it says that okay, traffic in this case, it internal as per the internal traffic engineering requirement, how the internally traffic is managed by AT&T, it depends upon that. That's why AT&T is supposed to decide that what will be the local preference for these two routes. So it assigns higher local preference uh, if it wants that traffic should be exit from this point. So that point is assigned as a higher local preference, and then the BGP protocol works in that way. Any traffic comes for any destination that belongs to here, then it will be exit from here, not from here. So this is the you can say local preference which is set by the autonomous system only. Then next hop. So next hop attribute is basically it is the next hop IP address that is going to be used to reach a certain destination, right? So in this case, let us say the next hop is the interface IP address of the interface 3A 1C here. Here it is 1B 2A. Okay, so there may be a multiple connectivity is also possible actually, right, between the two autonomous system. So it's not just one. If you one, then okay, there is no choice in terms of the next hop. If you have to forward anything to the your neighbor and you have just one place connectivity is there, then you are supposed to use that only. Okay, so then this is something interesting. So there is So here in this, you can see there are two autonomous systems are there, AS1 and AS2. And R3 and R4 are the BGP routers. So basically, through the BGP protocol, they can exchange the prefix reachability information. But whatever the prefix reachability information R3 receives, that needs to be disseminated in the internal routers are there. Internal routers means the routers which are not the BGP routers. Basically, they are they connected to their some networks inside that. Means R1, R2 is not a BGP router. BGP router will be there if it is connected to some another autonomous system somewhere here, right? So in this case, R1, R2 are the internal routers. Now internal routers, because internal routers also know that, okay, if the some prefix is there which is reachable via AS2, right? So if they get any traffic for that IP address, suppose this IP1 some I'm just using, okay? So some prefix slash 26 is there. So if any traffic comes from for the destination slash 26 to R1, R1 should know that, okay, where to forward. Next link is whether this one or some other link is there. So for that purpose, these BGP routers, which they are learning the prefix reachability information from other autonomous system, that information should be disseminated in the internal routers also. So one way is that, okay, we can simply inject the routes in IGP. IGP means Interior Gateway Protocol. You're basically OSPF and RIP. These are IGP. So one thing is that whatever prefix are there, IGP table is already there. That also tells, okay, this is a prefix and the next hop is this. So suppose 5, 6 IGP prefixes are there. Then in that the external prefixes also can be added in the same table. But this will be a cumbersome manual. Every time needs to be, whenever new prefix reachability information is received by R3, that needs to be sent to all the internal routers. Kind of a manual copy. Basically, there is no protocol. BGP protocol will work up to here only. Then you need to push this thing on some periodic basis. So that's not a good solution, or not a practically feasible solution. So then other thing is that, okay, we may have a version of the BGP protocol which can work inside the autonomous system, right? So if the same as it is, if you use it, the BGP protocol, or we should have a different version. So that's the question. So one thing is that, okay, if the BGP protocol can be used to communicate these routes to internal routers also, then it is fine. Then our job is done. But the problem with this is that there may be a possibility of kind of a loops, because when inside routers will exchange the routes or forward the routes according to the BGP protocol, then AS path value cannot be used for the loop detection, because when R1 will forward something to R2, then also autonomous system number is same, AS1, this also AS1, right? So you cannot means check that whether this autonomous system is already there in AS path, because for all routers, internal routers that belongs to this autonomous system 1, for them the autonomous system number will be same only. So that cannot be used for the loop detection, right? So you require a variant of the BGP, that eBGP we call that is, okay, and the variant which is used for internal information dissemination or internal router information dissemination, that will be the iBGP. So rest everything is same. The only difference is that the different rules for re-advertising the prefix in iBGP, the rules are different. Rest of the things are all same. So the prefix, the different rule is the prefix learned from eBGP neighbor. This is eBGP neighbor for R1, can be advertised to iBGP neighbor and vice versa. Means iBGP to eBGP or eBGP to iBGP can be routes can be exchanged, because they have the different because if something is learned from eBGP, means basically it is coming from other autonomous system, and then one hop it will go to inside that autonomous system. But prefix which is learned from IBGP, suppose this is IBGP route, that cannot be advertised to another IBGP neighbor. So R3 R3 to R2, if suppose R2 has learned some route, R2 has learned some route from R3, right, for some prefix slash 26. Now R2 cannot forward this to R1 because the AS path will be same for so R2 also will use for R2 advertisement also AS1 will be used, and R1 also AS1 will be used. So when these two R3 communicated to R2, so the IBGP protocol works, and then it is so this route this will be now this route R2 it cannot forward to R1, right? So that restriction is there. So R3 can give to R1, fine, right? R3 can give to R2, but further R1 cannot forward this to R2 and R2 cannot forward to R1. So with this restriction that but this restriction may take some time to propagate this information, right? But yeah, loop problem will not be there. Looping issue will not be there. If we don't put this restriction, then maybe some loops may be created, like in the distance vector routing can be created. Okay, so this finally, this is the means how suppose a autonomous system receives multiple, you can say, advertisement for same prefix, let us say /26. It is getting from its 2-3 neighbors. Now, first thing is according to the policy, it will see that okay, whether I should so on what basis policy it will say okay whether this autonomous system can I receive the route, or based on the relationship, or maybe a political relationship and all depends upon that. So once it is import policy allows that, fine, okay, these 3 possible routes are there. Now which one will be considered by AS1? So that is decided in BGP by this rule. So first thing is that it will give the highest preference to the local preference, right? So whether the route will be selected or not. So the local preference it will give the highest. Then second, if the local preference is either not set for this, or maybe the local preference is I think one slide is missed out or something. Okay, I think one slide is missed. Okay, I will see that. So this lowest AS path, the second you can say metric is the lowest AS path. Suppose this route have a AS path length 6. This route have AS path length 6, and this has AS path length 4. So fine, sorry, we say this one. So 3, 3, 4. So lowest AS path will be given the preference. So in the lowest, this is cut down. Okay, fine, it is a 4 AS path length is 4. So now with AS path length 3, the 2 routes are there. So then it will, the next metric is check is the lowest origin type. So origin type is a metric actually I have not discussed, but yeah, it is something how the routes are injected in the BGP, means in the BGP tables. So route can be injected from either IGP tables, means that prefix, how the prefix was learned actually. So it can be come from IGP or EGP. EGP is basically a predecessor of BGP protocol. So it is a predecessor of BGP protocol. Exterior gateway protocol it is called as. Before BGP, this protocol was used. And the third possibility for the origin type, the third possibility is incomplete. Incomplete means that information is not anywhere, in that how this particular prefix was learned actually. If this information is not available, so then in that case it will say incomplete. So the order is like this. It will give preference to the prefix learned through the interior gateway protocol like OSPF protocol. Through the OSPF it is coming, then it is Means what is the origin of that prefix, how this prefix was first learned, and then subsequently it is moving from one autonomous system to another autonomous system, and then eBGP and then incomplete. Okay, if this either this metric is not set or maybe it is not available, so then or maybe it is same for both the routes or multiple routes, then next it will go with the lowest MED value. So MED is something I was telling that this one slide is missing actually. MED is something like this. Local preference and MED have the some resemblance. So this is AS1 and this is AS2. Two autonomous systems are there. Suppose they are connected through two BG at 2 points. So the two BGP routers are there, 2 points it is connected. Now AS2 is sending some route which it prefix which is learned from some AS3 and then that is coming from subsequently somewhere. Let us say for X1 prefix. So for X1 prefix, AS3 is sending to AS2. Now AS2 according to his export policy, it says that okay fine, I can forward to AS1, no problem, right? So if it is forwarding to AX, then AS1 may when the AS1 will import this route, then AS1 may use to send the traffic on for this X1 destination either via this route or via this route. It may choose any, but AS2 wants that okay, no, you should use this path only. How the AS2 should communicate this to AS1? Because why AS2 have this kind of a choice? AS2 may want that okay fine, any traffic which is coming from AS1, that I will take it from here, or maybe I will exit this traffic from here itself. So it will use very less resources, because this is external traffic which is going to be forwarded outside my autonomous system. So it should not use more resources inside, right? Otherwise, if it is going through multiple hops, then my internal traffic will be suffered. So this is also called as a hot potato routing. Means if any autonomous system is receiving the external traffic which is destined for some external network, then that traffic should be immediately thrown out from the network actually. So the algorithm which you say, that's a hot potato routing. Hot potato means if hot potato is put in your hand, then what you will do? You will release it as immediately, as soon as possible, right? So something like that. So that's why the name is hot potato routing. So anyway, so AS2 wants to control that through on which link that my neighbor should send the traffic. For that controlling, BGP provides a attribute which is called as a MED, multi-exit discriminator. So suppose it wants that okay, it should come from this, so it will say when it is sending the route, exporting the route, then it is saying MED value for this route is 10 and MED value for this link is 20. So then AS1 when receive this prefix information with these MED values, then it will see okay, MED value 10. So it, as per the BGP you can say protocol, the lower MED value is used, right? So accordingly, that's why the AS2 is setting lower to that link on which it wants the traffic from its neighbor. So then it will send the traffic. So AS2 can control that okay, from which link the traffic is coming. So this lowest MED value will be the next criteria. Then the routes which are learned, eBGP route learned will give preference over the iBGP learned route. And next criteria is the lowest IGP cost to the border router. Means from if I receive a route from here and my border router is somewhere, let us say here. So from one one route for that destination I am getting over this thing, and but internal route from here to here is something like this, and another is this one, and the internal route for this is my exit router is somewhere here. So which is the lowest, which route is giving me the lowest cost for the border router? So same thing which I said that okay, because any external traffic I want to throw as soon as possible from my network as early as possible. So lowest IGP cost to border router, that route will be chosen. After all these 6 things, still I have the multiple choices are available, means then the tie break can be done by using the lowest router ID. So you know each router have the unique ID. So the router which have a lowest ID, that ID will be used for the tie break, because according to other criteria, my route is both the routes or multiple routes are feasible or can be used. So these steps are used for selecting a particular route when it receives a multiple route for a certain destination, the autonomous system receives. Okay, so I think that's all for this BGP. We'll just stop it. Yeah, there are some more things are there, but okay, as per our course requirement, we'll do up to here only. This policy based routing basically have, if those who are interested to means read more on BGP, it's a very interesting thing. So many things are there actually. Security is also an issue, and in the BGP, because is that over the TCP the messages are exchanged, and TCP you know that by default there is no encryption is there. So the routes, see these advertisements, can someone can tap and then manipulate these advertisements, and then maybe manipulated AS path they can send, and then the traffic by doing this way they can divert the traffic into certain direction. So you can read it one, if you Google it, you will find one thing. Sometime in 1980s, entire YouTube traffic on the internet was stopped, right? Not 80s, sorry, maybe sometime in 2000, near 2000 sometime. So entire YouTube traffic was means nobody was able to reach to the YouTube, right? And that is happened due to a problem in the BGP system, or you can say this was the, you can say, a vulnerability in the BGP. Not vulnerability, I'll say there is a, you can say, a limitation of the BGP, right? So you just read that document is available, 4 page document is there, and so means particularly those who are interested in that. So like that, there are other things that due to the policy based routing, other issues are also there in that. One is a protocol oscillations problem can also be there, because there is no well defined you can say rules are there, because that policy gives the flexibility to the autonomous system to how to use that, like local preference setting, MED value setting, and all this thing, right? So due to that, there it is even the routes can be oscillate also, means for a given destination. Sometime it is following this path, and sometime it is following some other path. So the route oscillation problem is also there. So this is also fundamental problem with the BGP. But still there is no other protocol people able to come up. That's the reason, because any change at a core network is really tedious task. Anything which is network layer, if you want to change. So you see that BGP is used for a long time, no change is there. Routing protocols are also more or less, there is no much update, but you see the applications, the thousands of applications, every month, or you can say every week, people are coming up, because their dependency is there only at an end host only. So you just create your client application, server application, and that's done. You don't require anything change in the intermediate. That's why this end-to-end principle was used, that okay, everything has to be, entire complexity is for the application development is there at a end host only. And that's why this design, architecture design was chosen by the people for faster development of application. Because for network layer, anything has to be changed, then means all the routers in the world has to be changed. And you see that there's a one change which was proposed in 2000, that is IPv6, and this is still going on, 20 years already gone. So these are the few examples that indicates that any change at an architectural level, or you say that at a core level in the internet or network, that's practically very challenging. Okay, so with this note, I stop it, and think little bit time is extended. I'm sorry for that. So yeah, there is a question from Praneeth that's will each path have the local preference attribute? So this local preference can be set or not set actually. It depends upon that, okay, whether it is, so that's not compulsory. So what is a compulsory in the BGP is one is a AS path must be there in advertisement and prefix for which that path is basically advertised, right? So the two things are, you can say, must. Other like MED value, local preference, all other attributes may present or may not present. Any other question?
So when A is a provider of B, so can A send traffic through B? I mean, it seems so from the discussion, but isn't that, I mean, a bit wrong?
Why it is wrong?
So, okay. So I think that like in that way, if you have more customers, you will be able to send more data also, and at the same time get more revenue.
So see, I think I don't know where is your confusion, but okay, let me just quickly tell you. I think okay, yeah, okay. This I think this slide was skipped, and this slide was skipped anyway. So this is for MED actually, right? So MED 2 points where it is connecting, and so what was your doubt? I think yeah, I just go somewhere here. Yeah. See, so see, this is AS1, right? And this is AS2. You are saying that okay, AS1 is a provider for AS2, right? This is provider and this is customer. You are saying that okay, can a customer can send so let's say this customer is connected to network X1 and this provider is connected to network S2, right? So if the customer is, because customer is supposed to give all you can say route prefix path to its provider. So it's giving it to provider by telling that okay, I can take you to the X1. So if X1 is directly connected, then the X1 and the AS path will have just AS2. So this route it is sending. So there is no harm that receiving, because if this prefix it is getting into a single, you can say hop, AS1 may have some other neighbors also, and then it is getting a route to X1, with some three AS length path, three hop AS path. So compared to that, it is always good that okay, it will use this path to reach to AX1, sorry X1 prefixes, IP addresses, because this is through is a customer and don't have to pay anything. So you need to just check it. So you just these two rules are there basically, and these two rules are means in terms of the export policy, they are based on the you can say call as economic based rules actually, and that is used practically. It is used in the internet BGP routing. And the thing is, only thing is that okay, so you say A B C, right? And A B C are peer, right? They are peer, right? AB also peer relationship, BC also peer relationship. Suppose A B has learned some route from A, some route is learned. That whether it should forward to C or not, should it forward to C or not? A route which is learned by B from A, should it forward to its another peer or not? What will be the implication of that? So implication means if the route is receiving in this direction, then the traffic flow will be in this direction. C will start sending the traffic for that destination to B, and B has to subsequently forward to A because B has committed that okay, because when B is exporting any route to C means it is committed. Okay, any traffic you have for this destination, please give me. So I will take it, I will forward it to the appropriate destination. right? So what will happen? So in this case, this is also not allowed. Now, why it is not allowed? Not allowed, or this no one should use it actually, or no one uses that. Why? So a peer learned route, B has exported a peer learned route to its another peer, and the implication of that will be that, okay, you are overwhelming your peering relationship. Actually, you are sending this, so, and B is not getting any benefit out of that. B is forwarding uh, uh, some traffic which it receives from C to A. So basically, this peering link, it is overwhelming actually. This peering link B can use for its customer. Suppose D is its customer, then B can forward this route to its customer, and then the customer will get suppose for example it is getting a better route for this destination. So then the customer will start forwarding the traffic, and when the customer will get a better service, then definitely your customer base also will increase, your reputation will increase, and you will get more and more revenue from here. And for that you can overwhelm this link, but you should not overwhelm your peer-to-peer link for forwarding the traffic from your other provider or your other peer. Your customer traffic you can forward from you can forward via the peering link or to your even your provider also, right? So that's the means thumb rule for whether the route will be exported to its neighbor or not. Depends upon the peer relationship between the two autonomous system.
Clear, sir.
Okay.
One more clarification. Sir, here in the diagram, left diagram, AS1, AS2. So if AS2 wants to send some traffic to AS1, it needs to pay, right? But if AS1 wants to send some traffic to AS2, it don't need to pay.
Don't need to pay. Yeah.
Sir, is that fair?
No. It's the thing is that, so I'm telling you why it is a fair. So you see that there is a big autonomous system. So AS1 is a, let us say, tier 1 autonomous system. So what benefit AS1? So this is a large autonomous system, and the AS2 is a smaller autonomous system, right? So definitely AS2 needs to interface somewhere. Any tier 2 autonomous system has to you can say connect to a tier 1 at some point, because tier 1 will give the more reachability. So basically the need is that tier 2 autonomous system. Need is not tier 1 autonomous systems. Need is tier 2, because when tier 2 autonomous system is connected to interfaced with the or connected to a tier 1 autonomous system, now tier 2 autonomous system can say, okay, I have a better reachability, or means with a maybe a smaller or shorter AS path. Then further tier 2 can be a provider for so many other smaller autonomous systems, level 3 or level 4.
Yes, sir, it's clear now. Thank you.
So in that sense, means AS2 have the benefit actually, means to connect to any, and everyone wants to be connect to the tier 1 with one hop. Otherwise they have maybe their, so suppose AS2 is connected to some other autonomous tier 2 autonomous system, that is AS3. AS3 is further connected to the tier 3 AS4. Then finally AS4 is connected to some autonomous system which is a tier 1. So definitely, so in place of that, suppose AS2 have an opportunity to directly with a single hop to connect to some tier 1 AS7 autonomous system. So then it will use this thing. It will be ready to become a customer to get the services of AS1 as compared to using this path to reach, because this path will is AS hop length wise also will just check it, that is a 3 hop. Internally links maybe even further more, right? So everyone wants to be connect to the tier 1 directly. That's not a means easy actually. They have to pay huge money actually. That's why among the tier 1s there is no financials involved. So you say that's elephants, like they are called as elephants in the internet in the domain or in an internet community. So elephants basically, or it means a lion basically, they don't become each other's provider or customer. Basically, they will not. They have equal status. So the two tier one ISPs basically they always have the peering relationship. It is something like that. Okay, it is. You also have a benefit to connect to with me. I also have a benefit with me. So there is no money involved in that. So, but if I am a smaller guy and then I want to interface with a larger guy to means, so then I have a benefit. Need is my actually. So then in that case, certainly there is a financial involved in that. I will be the customer provider. I will pay something to, okay, you be interface with me because I am getting more benefit from him, because his reachability is more. So then I, with his influence, I will also become a powerful kind of thing. So this way it works. So tier one ISPs basically, they don't have a customer provider kind of. All tier ones are, wherever they are connected in a peer-to-peer fashion only. So most of the tier one ISPs are there in the Europe and US basically, in that region, right? So that's why means suppose somebody is connecting from Europe or something to this, that they are getting better path as compared to the Asian countries, right? Because here the longer hop path is there always, because you are directly, no ISP, Indian ISP is connected to a tier one ISP. Although these things changing, but yeah, in general, I am telling that maybe we need to check it that, okay, what is the current way things are there. But in general, tier 1 ISPs, maximum number of tier 1 ISPs are situated in the US region, because they have started early, and then means such they have a lot of money as well, so their infrastructure is large. That's why they are categorized as a tier 1. Okay. Okay, so fine. I think then we can stop. So as I mentioned, now onwards, Tuesday onwards, we will start the link layer, and Dr. Ashutosh Bhatia will take the class. So I think same platform will be same only. Here only you will get your class link and other stuff as well. So next 10 or so classes will be on that. And your midsem grades I have uploaded on your this thing ERP. You can check from your ERP. And after rechecks, the marks are also now freezed. Means whatever, if your marks are not increased, someone mark is not increased, means that means now further no request will be there. We have already checked thoroughly, and there is no further scope of increase in the marks. Okay, so thank you all of you for your time for for this class, extra class on holiday. And also I want to thank, because now I think Professor Bhatia will take the class. So I just want to thank you, all of you, for your cooperation in conducting online classes, and some of you have attended on regular basis. So I thank all of you, and good luck for your rest of the semester. Okay. Anyway, we will have still interfacing is there in terms of, as in a course IC, I have to be. So I think we have 2 evaluation components are left before the Compre. One is online exam. The lab test is there, and that is on Sunday, next Sunday. And second is the quiz is there. Okay, that will on 16th. Okay, so thank you all.